my bed, beside my pillow, like a pathway, bring that man to me. Oh, something tells me my words are going straight to his heart. And something tells me you will be all mine. Baby, come to me, 'cause I love you, thinking of you. Oh, baby, come to me, gotta have you. You got it going on, turning me on, baby, come to me. No secret how to make you want me, how to make you love me. Oh, yes. 'Cause the moon above is a friend of mine. She'll make you burn. Yeah. Something tells me the fire's up right up your spine. Oh, something tells me you will be all mine. Baby, come to me, 'cause I love you, thinking of you. Oh, baby, come to me, gotta have you. You got it going on and turning me on, baby, come to me. Said I love you, thinking of you. Oh, baby, come to me. Gotta have you, girl. Got it going on. You're turning me on, baby, come to me. Come on, baby. Listen, come on closer. Something's telling me. You're turning me on. Sweet baby, said I need you. Come on home to me. Silver moon shining over you. Me and you. Baby, why don't you come on home to me? Got it going on. Baby, please, come on home to me.
Peace, 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 people. That used to be my jam. Regina Bell, come to me. Yes, 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 y'all. I missed yesterday because I had such a terrible headache since the last live I did where I described and showcased hidden cultural things that Africans do that was very despicable, surprising, alarming. And it gave me a massive headache during that live. Before I even got off the live, I had such a headache, and it carried on the whole entire day, and it lingered on part of Sunday. And I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to start on time. So let me just rest today. Before I get into the topic, I really want to thank all my supporters. It's been a long time coming where people really started getting me, understanding what my positions are, my ideologies, my philosophies, my thinkings. And I appreciate those that even if you don't agree with me, you support me or you're trying to understand me, whatever the case may be, because for years, people been slandering my name, talking about I was crazy, out of my mind, all these types of things. And I want to ride with the people that ride with me. What I want to say is Seven Gali, who's a Bajan American, is a writer. She has been supportive of Black American plights. She's been supportive of people dying mysteriously in the Gambia, women dying, and other things happening to Black Americans. She has listened and respected what my positions have been. She has learned, and I've learned from her about her positions. And I want to say that I don't know what happened in the chat room the other day, which got her triggered, but please don't disrespect Seven Gali because she is a writer. She is an American. She does understand our positions and wanting to have our own ethnicity and what's been going on with propaganda, with people trying to disallow us from having an ethnicity, which is, I believe, the pillar of why we're having issues with our identity, why we're having issues with pride, why we're having issues with claiming being an American, is because we have never been allowed to have an ethnicity. And, you know, unfortunately, too many Americans, Black Americans, don't care that we don't have ethnicity acknowledged, recognized, upheld. They are running to Africa. They are claiming to be African. And they're leaving us high and dry with erasure of our identity. And this is what I have studied up on, being on YouTube since 2018. I've learned throughout the years that this was the case. I didn't understand it right away. It took a while for me to gather information and observation, seeing what Pan-Africans were doing, seeing what Africans were spewing, Western Africans to be exact. Most of them are Western Africans, some of them from the East, but primarily Western Africans are the ones scoffing at us having ethnicities, in particular Nigerians, Ghanaians, and others. They love to be able to utilize our identity and their identity. It's double, triple dipping is what they do. That's how they've been able to maneuver in America and get ahead of us. That's why they don't want us claiming our own identity, because it benefits them for us to stay a block of Black, for people to feast off of us. This is what I've discovered. This is what I've learned. This is what I've gathered. And Seven Gali, she has been supportive of my information. She's been supportive of me giving this information for y'all to get, and she's been a writer for us. Please don't disrespect her. Please don't disrespect her, because I would replace many failed Black Americans who are Pan-Africans with her. All of them are scrapped as far as I'm concerned for the likes of a Seven Gali. because at least she knows who she is, what we're doing, what we're trying to do, and she supports our plight. Don't spit on people supportive of our plight. There's so many others that are not. There's so many others that are overwhelming us, trying to bully us, trying to tell us we just got to just be a slave to everybody and take it and shut up, sit in a corner and shut up and take whatever's happening to us. I'd rather have Seven Gali on my team than all the Pan-African Black Americans. They are worthless. I'd rather have Seven Gali on my team than having leaning Pan-African motherfuckers. They are worthless. Let me see what you're saying before I go forward. You said, I've been with you a long time. I don't agree with everything you talk about, but your voice is needed out here. Ethnicity is more important than reparations. I believe so too, Easy X. I really believe that now. Those countries and people from West Africa that you are describing are the tribes that sold our ancestors. I would never associate with them. Exactly. Black people aren't the only ones that goes for anyone white, black, red, green, or blue. Well, anyone that supports me, I applaud anyone. I don't know too many white people that do support me. They don't let themselves be seen or heard, maybe one or two. But anyone that supports me, I appreciate all the support from anyone because it's been a long time coming. But us not being acknowledged as having ethnicity, having our own ethnicity like everybody else has their ethnicities. They have their roots. They have their background. They have their flags. They have their traditions. They have their religions. They have their whatever, their language, their foods, whatever. We're being told that we don't need one. And it's very problematic when it comes from Black Americans themselves who say this. That's who I'm angry at, and that's who we should be angry at the most. The government, which is allowing this on purpose, and the Black Americans that don't give a damn about their own fate. Here in America, those people, those traitors, we should be outraged about, not someone that's listening and understanding and getting the message. Please don't disrespect her. So I was going to talk about another topic, but I'm going to save it for another day because I just noticed that Go Black to Africa actually got a hold of the guy who's the American. I guess he's a Hebrew Israelite. And he had his place demolitioned in Ghana. And it was said that they were going to come back and give us an update. Like the Minister of Information was supposed to come back and tell us what had happened, and he never came back. Well, the person that it actually happened to, I think, according to this video that he dropped 2 hours ago, he's giving the update. I want to go through for us to get reiterated again and again and again that Ghana is not the place. I don't believe West Africa is the place. I don't believe Africa is the place for us. Because like I said, and I'm going to keep saying, y'all going to keep bankrupting yourselves, trusting and believing in Ghana, in Nigeria, in all these other places. They're going to take your money and spit it out. We're going to find ourselves more and more homeless, more and more deficit with not having funds to survive, because a lot of these governments are going to swap on you. They're going to switch up on you, and they're going to take what you have invested and turn it into mush. You mark my words, it's coming. So many other people who are migrants, like Nigerians, travel to Dubai, travel to UK, live, set up shop, and they're told to exit. They're told to get up out of their country. They're told they can't fly into their countries for various reasons. That type of situation has never happened to us. But when the tide turns and it begins to happen to us, it's going to be your fault, because you should have fought with what you had to work with, which is you are an American. You have rights here that should be recognized. Stop tapping out like little bitty bitches. Stop living off of fantasies of YouTube, such as Tariq Nasheed and Yvette Carnell. Roll up your sleeves, write letters, fax, make calls about you wanting to get ethnicity, or at least identify your own self. Notary sign your own identity, get it notarized. Do stuff that will help you feel better about you in America, because us being here in America, nobody's giving us no room to feel prideful. We're being swarmed by so many different voices telling us, don't care about your ethnicity, don't care about your history, don't care about what your ancestors have did for America. All that shit is long ago. Don't care. Just be used up and spat out. Just be a slave for everybody globally. That's how it stands right now. My words are trying to enlighten the ones that are not aware, that are not paying attention, that are got their head in the sand like an ostrich, to get up out of the sand and poke your head up and look around. Look around. What is happening to us? We're being erased, y'all. And let me get to this story. Let me see. What's up, Caucasian Sashua? I don't know how to pronounce that, but thank you for coming. Hi, Alexander. You're an American too. Thank you for coming here. You said, I'm a settle this shit right now. If you're born in Africa, you're African. If you're born in Egypt, you're Egyptian. If you're born in Australia, you're Australian. If you're born in America, you're American. Yeah, that should be very plain and easy to say. But for some strange reason, we have other people telling us that's not so. That's not so. And they're attaching that bullshit to Black Americans. You said we need to go to war against these buffer zones of panties, boule, legacy organizations, and fence sitters. They're leading us to destruction. I'm laughing at these silly ass Negroes. I'm not laughing. They're making me very sick to my stomach. They're making me very upset about how they dismiss our desire to exist in America. Four Rivers says, yes, the topic of self-identity needs to be constantly talked about. There's been an ongoing agenda to change Black American identity. And I believe that is one day, I believe we're going to wake up and they're going to talk about you African. That's why I say you have to go beyond trusting YouTube and do something tangible on your own. Just imagine if Tariq Nasheed, if Yvette Carnell said, flood the Black Caucus, flood the NAACP, flood the United States President Biden with emails, with faxes, with letters about our need for ethnicity. Wouldn't that be a good start to do? All those subscribers, they don't say anything about us being proactive about nothing. That's why I think they're agents, because it's not too hard to make calls, to email, to make letters notarized, to self-declare your identity, something. If you could get 50,000 people to flood one office, don't you know they would take notice? Just 50,000 would really take notice on one office. All these calls, all these faxes about these Black Americans wanting to have their own ethnicity would be a great start. But no, Tariq Nasheed says nothing, but makes money sitting in his comfortable house talking on YouTube. He says he wants to get together for reparations, what do you call it, a parade or get together in Washington, but we're not acknowledged in Washington. But people got to spend money to go to Washington fly, travel, hotels, and then he's asking for donations on top of all of that. He's making a killing off of our desire to want to get what's deserving to us, but he has become a millionaire off of us and our desire. He is manipulating and pimping y'all because there's so much more he should be telling us to do. There's so much more that Yvette Carnell should be telling us to do if they were serious, but they're not. That's why I have my platform. That's why I'm speaking like I am. I'm not even the type of person that should be really speaking. I don't feel comfortable speaking, but I'm forced to because we do not have proper representation. We don't have advocacy. People are not caring about our fate, including a lot of us. And it's obvious. So let me now get to this video, but I hope that you guys are understanding where I'm coming from. Please allow people to support us, whomever they are. Don't disrespect Seven Gali or anyone that supports our plight. That doesn't make sense. We don't have enough people supportive of our plight. So let's listen to this real quick. Fair use of this video for educational purposes. Let's get to this. Let me fast forward this a little bit.
If we will, but we have our dear brother here, Atur Ben Or, who is affiliated with the Hebrew Israelites there in Demona, Israel, and he is part of the leadership there, but it's stationed here in Ghana, and is going to give us an update to what a video that I did and others have done when Ghana demolished their community, their buildings, that was on land and was rightfully theirs to lease. And so it was a big stink. It wound up in court, and many people are wondering what has transpired since then. So they are wanting to go and just share what has all been, where they're at this point right now today. And so without further ado, my brother, welcome here to Go Black to Africa platform. And please introduce yourself as you will, and we're going to get into this.
Thank you, Brother Cory. Giving all honor and praise to the Most High, first and foremost, as always, and to our anointed leadership there, Mona, the Holy Council, and the divine ministers, the crown brothers and sisters, saints, and all those striving for righteousness and peace throughout the world. I greet you in the Hebrew tongue, shalom, shalom. And as you mentioned, my name is Atur Ben Or, and I'm stationed here in Ghana, West Africa, Cape Coast to be specific. And I've been here since 2009. And I came at the request of our anointed spiritual leader, Ben Ami, who had asked me to come and to work and serve in our institutions there, our redemptive institutions that he had established for us there, working with the Ghana Ministry of Health and with the idea of bringing alternative health services in the form of preventive health care, regenerative health and nutrition, as well as to just teach people about healthy lifestyle there in Ghana. So I came in 2009 at that request, and I've been here since then.
Okay, all right. Well, you know, many people, like I said just a few moments ago, have really taken on an interest of this land. Let me get the naysayers, the haters, and the gossipers out the way when it came to the allegations that the land that you all are on, you did not fulfill obligations, and Ghana had the right to do what they did. Can you give some clarification on that for us, brothers, please? Because, and family, I'm going to show the video here of what actually had transpired during this demolition of their property. But brother, please share with people about the legality part of the land and where did y'all stand?
Sure. one of the things that is a matter that's affecting and impacting the fact that we haven't been able to speak to this a little bit more over the last 12 months is because we were approached by the government to join in and participate in a specially formed committee that was headed up by the regional minister, as well as representatives from the government, such as the Ghana Tourism Authority CEO, who was reporting directly to the Minister of Tourism, and other officials, such as Lands Commission officials and all of them, so that they could investigate and get to the bottom of it. And in committing to that took place towards the latter part of the third month last year. We engaged to participate in those hearings, so we could present the facts in those hearings before the committee. And while we were there in the committee, it became very clear right away that the story that they trumped up in the very beginning wasn't solid at all. So we've been in negotiations for almost the last 9 months, and they keep the activity of comments and all of that down. They didn't want us talking much about the case because it was stirring up a lot of emotions amongst our brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora. So we committed to that, and there were some other agreements that were supposed to be made within that committee by all parties, such as,
Again, they want to keep us shushed so that they can keep on hustling us, keep on feeding us the lie, the dream of Pan-Africanism, of buying that land. They wanted to keep people still buying the land. Don't say nothing. Keep it hush. We'll handle it. Let us lead you.
Refrain from any further developments on the property until the matter was sorted out. So, as I said, it became very evident.
Okay, as he comes back in, family, if y'all can hear me, what you're seeing here on this video is the land actually that's in question. And this was early. This was the day that the demolition happened. So you still see some structures that are standing, but the video will continue to show them knocking down the buildings. Righty, 1 second here. Let me get my brother in here.
Events are back, you guys. Events are back. They're booking speakers like you. They're paying them $5,000.
Get my brother in here. Okay, you're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, continuing, it became very clear early on that they really didn't have a solid leg to stand on, that it was a lot of inconsistencies in what they were saying. And so from there...
Because they're telling us anything. We are needed for dollars. They want our dollars. They don't care what happens to us. And this is going to continue in Ghana. Stop trusting them.
Sure that they wanted to see how best that they could resolve the matter. Just so happens that, we also, in good faith, decided not to file it in court, on the word that they were going to make things right in terms of settlement. Settlement consisting of an alternative piece of land and compensation for what we had lost. So we've been in full consideration of all of that over the last 12 months. However, due to the fact that legally there's a statute of limitations, we had to go ahead and file it in court because up to this point, it still hasn't quite been fully resolved, even though the intent is still there, apparently from the government. They're saying that they still want to resolve the matter. So even though it's filed, our lawyer's been saying that the judge will allow there's still the opportunity for a resolution to be agreed to by the parties. but we have had to go ahead and take the action to move it into the legal court phase. Our first major hearing is tomorrow. So that's really the update. And since we haven't been able to speak on it and really talk much about the matter because of the fact that we had agreed to that in the committee, and as well as now because we are going into the court to hear the case, we're still a bit limited on some of the things we can talk about. But at least I can tell you that much. It had been agreed that, looking at the facts, that the best decision would be for the government to go ahead and sort this out.
So, it tears me up because, this is more than 2 handfuls of stories, more than 50 stories of issues that I know that Ghana has with those people that I've come across, emails that I received of these different land issues that have happened over the years. And, it's a shame that there is a disregard. And I'm putting this out here because I'm frustrated. And from what you're telling me is basically that there were some agreements that were in place, that, one, there would be discussions, there would be land possibly given, there would be compensations for the loss of properties, and nothing have been done. And yet now it looks as though that y'all are moving forward to other legal positions. And so my thing is that, and I'm going to be careful what I say because sometimes when I get upset, I'll put it out there a little raw. But I'm going to say this right here because I know Ghanaians watch this, and I know there are government officials who watch this. And I've been coming to Ghana for the last 7 years. I have met beautiful people in Ghana, whether it's Ghanaians, whether it's African Americans, whether it's other people who are coming into Ghana to pursue either their happiness, trying to reach their potentials. Many people have come out of America, UKs and Canadas, coming back with hopes of a better life. I have did many interviews of people here in Ghana who have had hopes coming here only to be scammed, only to be taken advantage of, only to be land to be taken out. I know people who have been killed here in Ghana because of land dispute. And yet Ghana has made this whole door of return to be some sense of a historical event that, in my opinion, it was only a ploy, a plot, a scheme to get the dollar.
And this is what I said back in 2018. And do you know, so many people were like, I was anti-Africa, anti-Africans. And I was like, no, they're hustling us. They want our money. That's it. That's all. I have been plain and clear about what I've seen about this President Otto and how he was moving with Dr. Eric Kana, how he was moving with the Black Caucus. Let me know it was a money grab. And I start saying it in 2018, 2019 when it was first announced. And so many people were like, oh, you're a hater, you're a hater. Now look at all the scams, all the land scams. No one cares, though, about that. No one cares about people starting all over again. Nobody cares about us losing our money. Nobody cares about people losing their hope and dreams and faith and all these things because they want us to keep the lie going. Africa's where we need to be. We need to build in Africa. We need to go to Africa. No, I don't give a damn about what people told you. I'm telling you the truth.
Out of the hand to bring in to Ghana. The last number I was told, there's over 15,000 of us here in Ghana. And I know without the 15,000 of us that are here, and those that come back and forth, and the money that is sent outside of the country of Ghana. Ghana could not stand. I'm going to put it out there. We have come here to build businesses. I know my brothers and sisters there in the Hebrew Israelite community. They are pillars here in Ghana. They have factories. They have businesses. They have farming. They have done so much. And it hurts me to the core when I see that when we come with good intentions, a good heart, and try to come and establish a new way of life, when we hire the locals, we supply the jobs, we are creating an industry for Ghana, and yet we're overlooked, used and abused, and yet we still don't even have a voice. You know, we are the aimless wanderers, the ones seeking land outside of damn America. Our brothers and sisters who are in Demona, have since 1969 planted their seed there in Israel. They've had their issues and their fights, but they still remain. And yet they decide that they would even put camps throughout the continent in various countries to be able to spread not only businesses and to help other countries, but the idea whether it is a healthy lifestyle of eating, educating the people when it comes to whether it might be technology, because I know even y'all got factories right here, and I was invited to go to the factory. I've been there. It blew my mind, man. Y'all got a factory here. You know, y'all sell vegan products to a whole lot of stores in Ghana and throughout Africa. And the things that when I see and hear what has happened to you all, everybody, you know, we got to do something. We got to spread the word. We got to make the force. My means of giving and helping is this platform. And so what I would like to do, brother, is there any contacts people can reach out to, emails that we can reach out to, any officials or anyone that we can even shed more light that this is deplorable what's happening, not only to you all, but the rest of the diaspora who comes here and are being taken advantage of.
Absolutely, my brother. You know, we do have a diaspora coalition group that's here. Of course, the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem. I mean, our leadership is here, stationed in Accra, Tema area as well. That's where our top leadership is here in Ghana for the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem community. And then we are one of the organizations that participate in the Diaspora Coalition. The Diaspora Coalition is made up of different diaspora groups that are here in Ghana. Of those 15,000 of us that you said are here, many of us are represented in that coalition. And we actually have a diplomatic mission that's stationed here in Ghana with the ambassador she's been involved with our situation as well. Liaison between the top leadership here in the country as well as our leadership there in Demona. Dr. Erica Bennett, she's a representative for the diaspora with the AU and throughout the leadership on the continent here. So to get in touch with the Diaspora African Forum, that's our organization, the mission that's here in Ghana. You can get in touch with us, the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem, of course myself directly if need be, and as well as the Diaspora Coalition group. But there are other groups like the AAAG, Caribbean Association of Ghana, Rastafarian Association of Ghana, depending on who you identify with, because we are connected, like I said again, through Diaspora Coalition as well. And then another agency that you can reach out to is the Office of Diaspora Affairs, that of course directed to the president there in Flagstaff House over there in Accra. That agency was set up by Nana Addo to deal directly with us as a diaspora. So the director there, you can reach out to Ghana Tourism Authority and let them know, as a diaspora diaspora interest group that these kind of things are really affecting our confidence in Ghana in terms of tourism, in terms of return. We want to express that concern with diaspora affairs as well. But it is definitely a concern, I know, with them, and it's a concern with us that needs to be addressed. That kind of action that took place is really something that, again, I keep telling everyone, it goes far beyond just what happened to us. It's something that really is a bigger concern for all of us, as diasporas come. And then when we look at how that same type of mentality can be the same similar mentality that just money driven, not really concerned about the effect of lives and the effect of life on the planet that destroys the ozone, that destroys the rainforest, that pollutes our seas, our airs. Is that same injured mind that needs to be addressed at so many levels, and it has to start somewhere. If it has to start here with us, and us as a diaspora raising up to consider that action has to be taken on whatever level that we can affect it on, so that it can ultimately be addressed at an even higher level, because we know that we have some other even bigger issues that have to be faced that sometimes we don't even get to talk about because of situations like this one, such as the issues we're facing with climate change and all of that, but it's that same mentality that's affecting our survival, our livelihood on the planet. It's that same mentality that drives these type of mentalities of some of our leaders. I know there are several that talk to the issues of corruption and how corruption at high levels is the main obstacle that's actually preventing us from being able to move ahead economically as an African people on the continent. So this is really a big issue.
And it's never going to change. It's not going to change. You're just going to be spat out. You just going to be used and abused and spat out. Let me see what you guys are saying, and I'll continue. Let me go back up. What's up, Seven Gali, ADOS, Invented, how are you? Ben and Four Rivers and everybody else in the clouds watching, Easy X as well. Let me see. You said getting land in Ghana is too shaky. That's right, it is. But for some strange reason, Pan-Africans are still on this. You got to build, you got to buy land, you got to do this. And people are listening to that, and they're losing it all. They're losing their life. There were the two sisters in Ghana in 2015 that were murdered over a land dispute there in Ghana. Their lives were taken away from them. They were elderly ladies. They went to court, won the court case. And because they won the court case, they lost their lives. Now imagine who's living in their home that they built. Imagine who's on that land that they bought. It's not Americans. It's the Ghanaians. And that's what's going to continue to happen to us. We're going to toil, spend money, lose our lives, lose our monies, and it's going to go right back to Ghana. Over and over again, it's going to keep happening until we finally wake up. You said it's not enough litigation in most African countries to get land grants established. They don't have their shit together. They should not be inviting us to do anything there. They don't have no guarantees, no nothing. They should not be having us buying land and getting caught up since they ain't got their shit together, period. But no, they want your money. They'll take the money because they're corrupt. They got to have that money. You said, I believe those Israelites wanted to go to Israel, but instead chose Ghana. Yeah, isn't that strange? All along, it was supposed to be going back to Israel. We are the people from Israel. And then suddenly now it's turned to Africa. And I think that's part of the propaganda after the main person that led the Israelites to Israel back in, I believe, the late 60s or early 70s. Once he died, it changed to more of this Pan-African talk by the Minister of Information that's over there now. That's what they have done. You said, off topic, everyone, if you get a chance, step outside to see the eclipse, use proper eyewear. I'm not taking no chances to see it, but For whoever wants to try to see that, go ahead. You said it seems like they should have given them the opportunity to move to the new land before they bulldozed the old one. They don't give nobody the opportunity. I showed y'all in another video how Liberians in a refugee camp are homeless now because they got their refugee camp bulldozed over. They don't give notice. They just do it. And that's what they've done to us. They've shown us, you know, how they treat other Africans in Africa, how they treat Ghanaians in Africa. They're not going to treat us any different. Why do we think that they would treat us better is beyond me. But this is what's going on in the minds and the heads of some of these Pan-Africans and some of these $5 Africans that want to pretend that suddenly they're African. And they're getting the African treatment, all right. Yes, I said the year of return was a scam too. Yes, I knew what once I first heard it was a scam. What's up, Ben? You said Ghana's president was trying to pull a bigger scam. Yes, he's trying to demand our reparations. Supposedly, he's alleging that Africans were taken in slavery, none of which came to America. Exactly. But he's trying to dip his hands in the cookie jar of reparations and snatch our reparations to go to Africa. And y'all still think that these people give a flying fuck about you, American? About you? No, they don't. No, they don't. They want what's attached to you. That's why they're using you for this year return and claiming you as an African and all these other things so that they can get closer and closer to trying to rip away our reparations. And President Otto, Dr. Ericana, all of them are in on it. They don't give a damn about your future. They don't want us to have a nickel to rub against another. But y'all keep on believing these people that are corrupt, scammers, liars, manipulators. Keep on believing them. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see. And then y'all gonna remember me. Oh, I remember 4 Black. She said this. She sounded crazy, but she said this. Oh yeah, I've been saying it. I've been ringing the bell. You said, hi, 4 Black in chat. Africa and Pan-Africanism is on its last stretch. America for American people. Exactly. Okay, thanks for everybody. Please like and share the video. Please subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. You said, I red balled it back and appreciate you. Yes, my Caribbean family does not have any identity crisis. Came here legally, saved Black American lives as I do in my profession. And I appreciate you. Like I said, you are a writer. I would replace all the Pan-Africans and all the leaning Pan-Africans in a heartbeat for someone like a Seven Gali because she is valuable. They are worthless, and that's the truth. You got to side with the people siding with you. You got to side with the people that's understanding you. You got to side with the people that appreciate you. You cannot side with people based off of they're supposed to understand you. They're supposed to have your back, and they don't. They're working against us. So I cannot allow just because they're Black Americans to cloud my vision when I see that they're traitors and treacherous people that are claiming to be everything else but American. They are against us. Any Africans allegedly brought to the Americas from Ghana was said to be taken to the Caribbean. Ghana's president should ask their rulers for reparations. Again, everybody's coming for the people that are spending money, and that's American government. I've never heard of UK shilling out money to anyone about anything. Correct me if I'm wrong. If they paid anybody reparations or paid somebody for what they've done in some of these countries, let me know. All I've heard was apologies from the UK. I've never heard of money being shelled out. The only people that shell out money is the United States government. That's why everybody's coming to America claiming reparations when they know doggone well they have nothing to do with the reparations here in America. You said putting legal Caribbeans with Africans daily was the tipping point the other day. Appreciate you. Got to catch this eclipse though, so be back later. Okay, I appreciate you. Just curious, why do you have a white woman as your photo if you're ADOS? I have been wondering that too. I'm waiting for the eclipse in the Louisiana, I guess you meant. How you doing, DJT? You said, good question. What's up with the ADOS invented country, hip hop, rock, gospel, and more? Hit the like button. I never said anything about it before, but now calling weird things out. I'm not taking any chances of losing what little eyesight I have left in my with the eclipse. That's what I'm saying. I'm not taking any chances. I'll watch it on the news when it's safe to watch it. They could record it, and I'll see it from there. Sonny D says, why so many black men gay? It's an agenda that's working, Sonny. It's been an agenda to feminize men, black men in America, and they have fallen for it because they have given incentives, unfortunately, to becoming transsexuals, to becoming gay. I hate when that happens. My phone does a trip. Okay, let me see. It's incentives. That's what happened to my phone, went out for a minute. But they give incentives to emasculate black men. And it's been working, unfortunately. They go to some of our great celebrities and sports people and have them put on dresses, have them put on wigs and makeup, have them star in movies, have them do all this crazy stuff, and then making it normal for us to see. And other men are seeing the benefit off of these burly alpha looking dudes tapping out, wearing dresses and wigs and makeup. And they see that you get far further ahead in America, unfortunately, behaving that way. And so that's why it's become more of a movement to do away with alpha men. And it's working, unfortunately. That's the best way that I can explain it. Let me go back up. Okay, that's the sign of a fake supporter for Rivers, trying to show fake support to get a wrench and sabotage channel. So I asked and waiting for a reply. Change and pick now will be a red flag. Oh, did she leave? Maybe it's her grandmother. I don't know. Ghana is using washed black celebs to get more blacks in America to invest in the country. Actor Boris Koji and actress AJ Johnson are the main recruiters for such an assignment. Yeah, they use the celebrities for this go back to Africa. Indeed. You said, I'm laughing because I used to say for black is or was crazy. She been proving me wrong every time. Just give me time, you'll be proved wrong. Yes, those actors are just acting. Yes, they are, but it makes an impression on the minds of the young boys that come up and see that, though. You said, what about the white Irish people that were slaves? Deetra Bellow says, and when the black slaves were freed, the Irish slaves were not freed. They died in slavery. I don't know nothing about that history, but the Irish people would have to take that up with the government themselves, as we are trying to do. You know, that's not our fight to fight alongside of, Irish slavers or people that were enslaved, because ultimately you guys were blessed in the end. You guys were made into cops and firemen, and you were classified into being white. So you shared in the festivities of the pillaging of our resources and our free work, labor. Ultimately, over generations ago, you guys were blessed. So I don't know how much of a claim you would have now, but that's something for you guys to look into. Fair use content under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as comment, research, criticism, etc. Thank you for that again, Seven Gali. You said they don't ask the UK because the UK would tell them where they can go with that. UK don't play. Exactly. That's why they're clamoring to America. Oh, St. Louis. Okay. Thank you for stepping by again, DJT. Thank you. Okay, Bello True. I have an Irish, Barbadian, Bajan, grandma, paternal, but the topic is about Black Americans being under attack covertly and overtly. Yes. So let's get back to this update of Ghana demolition of the Israelites to see, obviously they said that they've been in talks for 12 months, but it's not been dealt with. They haven't been given land back. They haven't been given money back. They haven't been nothing. They just been at a standstill.
As an African people on the continent, so this is really a big issue. It's much bigger than just
So instead of him claiming to be a Hebrew Israelite, now he's claiming to be an African people. This is what I'm talking about. It's switched, y'all. The propaganda has switched to Pan-Africanism.
what has happened to us locally, and I think that's one of the things that everyone's beginning to realize surrounding this case now, that it's a really big issue that needs to really be properly addressed. And I think we all, as diasporans, can play a huge role, not only in making sure that our capacity to return in good faith back to Ghana, to be able to embrace arms and lock arms and hands with our brothers and sisters here on the continent, that we're able to continue to believe in that dream, that hope, and to see it fulfilled, because we need it so much, so those of us that can still participate and ensure that the things are done properly, so that we can still realize that dream, could also see that there's a bigger role that we can play. We can be successful in that, praying that the officials here will still continue to hold their heart doing the right thing by us, so that we can continue to promote doctrine.
I chuckle because you made you said a comment of doing the right thing, and I was reading some of the comments, and people are like, I don't know why y'all go to Africa. Africa's not for us, and all these things. Those are amateur comments, because I just did videos of our brothers and sisters' land being stolen right now today in America. So it ain't Africa. Right. It's the hearts of men who are just wicked and evil. That's all it is. Because I just did a video. It was about 2-3 months ago, and one was an elderly woman, one was a older man, and another one was a couple. Land taken. Land, and here's the thing, damn Erica, and I put the D in front of America, capitalize the E. Damn Erica, what she does, we see many people don't realize. See, they squeeze you out of your property. They'll raise your taxes. You know what I'm saying? When taxes go up, you got to pay them. Or if you say get behind in your mortgage, they'll sell your property on the state capitol building to others who will pay that property tax and take it from you. So let's not act like that. The issue is Africa. Africa got 54 countries. That's why I tell people there's many other countries you go move to if Ghana's not the place for you. But I'm gonna say this too, my brother, because I know that y'all are aggressively about to, entering into the legal law part of it. And my thing here is that you had said that y'all were in right standing with your lease.
Yeah.
Paid up, y'all paid out, everything was good. But the land was sold underneath.
Yeah.
And currently, what's the status of that property right now?
Currently, the status of that property right now, as far as I know, with Lands Commission, it's been leased to a private investor. Yeah.
And I understand there is already constructed a building there on that property, and they're doing business there on that property. Yeah.
Correct.
So, yeah. So you said y'all moving forward. So what happens now? What happens now, you think? What do you think is going to happen, and or what do you hope to happen, and all that?
Yeah, we're moving forward. Like I said, it has been expressed that they want to do their best because they want us to be reassured that we are family and that this is not the kind of thing that they expect to happen, and that they want to resolve the matter, sort us back out with compensation, as well as talking plan if possible. So we're hoping that we can continue to have faith in that. If not, it may have to go the length of the legal processes to sort it out. But again, that chance for it to still be resolved.
They're telling them anything that they want to hear just to keep them on the line, just to keep them like the fish stuck on the hook. If they wanted to do something, they would do something. If they felt sorry, they would compensate. Why all the hang-ups? Because they're not planning on doing anything for them. They're going to wait out this story until we forget about it. I'm not going to forget about it. I'm going to keep bringing it back up for those that do dumbly forget about it.
The promise is still there, even though it's been filed and it's going to go forward in court. So our lawyer is going to be still seeing if that option is going to be possible. And that would go a long way to helping alleviate some of the hardship that's been created by those that we employed, as you said before, as well as those that have been displaced because of the situation and have gone through the 12 months of hardship that we've gone through, as well as those that we were serving in the community. You know, we are providing health services, providing healthy lifestyle, consultation and all of that with our people. And it was a gathering place. It was a common and popular gathering place for the diaspora community here, as well as our local people. So we're just praying that things will be sorted out, as we promised. The Most High is
again, he's helpless. He can't make nothing shake. Following these people to Africa led them in this position now, and they're rendered helpless. Him being a man, this notion that we should follow men. Well, what's this following got to do with what's going on now? Following to being homeless. Hopefully they were able to help those people that were made homeless by this demolition. They said hardship. I couldn't tell the way he's saying it. Yeah, we went through hardship. This is terrible. His energy is off about the story. I would have more energy than this, but that's just me.
And it's not a coincidence, Brother Kofi. As I said before, the case is taking place tomorrow. And as we were talking about Damn Erica, there's the eclipse that's happening at the same time there in America, and it's not a coincidence. Certain things that happen, they happen for a reason. Those influences that are affecting some of the decision making at high levels here on the continent. They're not all just, like you said, a problem of Africa. They're a problem that stems from a global. There's a global mentality that being pushed and thrust upon us as a people worldwide, and it's time for change.
And that mentality is we don't give a fuck about Black Americans. Whatever happens to you, oh well, so what? So many things are happening to other Black people globally. What makes you so special? That is the attitude that I have observed by plenty of Africans and Pan-Africans. They don't care what happens to you. They don't care. Oh well, moving right along. And it's going to continue to happen. And this attitude of, oh, that happened to you. Sorry story. So many other stories out there also. So join the festivities of the stories. We have not been in those type of stories for a very long time. Why? Because we're American. Why? Because we've stayed in America. Now suddenly people want to venture. They want to take chances. They want to follow trends and movements. They want to do what other people are doing. They want to take the instruction of celebrities, take the instructions of our so-called leaders in America. In fact, let me show y'all. Cory Booker, I think that's his name, recently went to Ghana. Now, all the issues that Black Americans are facing right now with immigration, saturating Chicago, saturating New York, saturating Denver and other places, to the nearest Black community near you, you would think that he would make a showing to talk about that issue. Oh no, they've moved on. They've moved on. Their agenda is simply Africa. They just have not outright told y'all that, but they're showing you that. They're showing you that with what and how they move. Here is U.S. Senator Cory Booker in Ghana.
Very emotional when we're speaking to this trip to Africa. What's it mean?
It's extraordinary. And Ghana is such an extraordinary country, and to be a part of the
extraordinary country, but shouldn't he be there talking about the demolition of the American and how they lost their property? They don't care. They want to keep on this lie about Ghana's wonderful. Let's listen to that again. Oh, it's extraordinary. Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Everything is wonderful for Ghana. Keep pushing the propaganda for Ghana. Keep on keeping it going.
Very emotional when we're speaking to this trip to Africa. What's it mean?
It's extraordinary. Ghana is such an extraordinary country, and to be a part of the diaspora and come here for my first time, very, very moved. Very, very moved.
When we talk about bridging a gap between the continent and the diaspora,
Yes.
I see the emotion wasn't just here.
Yes.
On the floor of the Senate, you just as emotional your delivery. Are we doing a good job linking the?
Well, we can always do better, but let's just say that there's an ocean between us, but yet we've managed to keep the connection that is within our blood. And there are so many Americans that are so dedicated to the continent as a whole. We're also dedicated towards investing, towards doing incredible work.
So on top of that, he's promoting investing. So if you lose your investment, oh well, and that is the way in which it's rigged. I'm trying to tell y'all, they know full well that most of y'all will not succeed, that you will be taken and spat out. But they're still pushing the propaganda, irregardless of terrible stories that's being told about what's going on over there in Ghana. It don't matter. He's sold.
Healthcare and commerce, and in so many ways, just trying to deepen our connections to help prosperity happen for everybody. There's so much wealth in the diaspora, the human capital that we have. If we come together and work together more, we'll be able to.
What do we have in America lately? What's going on with us lately in America? Are we sitting pretty right now? No. Why is he still holding on to this notion we got money to spend and invest? We have stuff to do as Americans for Ghana. They have moved past us, y'all. He should get a letter. I might, in fact, write him a letter. His office at least should get called to talk about why are y'all only talking about Africa, Ghana? Don't you know you have people struggling and suffering in America by this president that you support? What are you going to do for us, Cory Booker, in America? Why are you taking your ass all the way over there in Ghana, talking about Ghana and us investing over there? What the fuck's wrong with you, Cory Booker?
And very emotional. When we started this day, we went out to the castle and the door of no return and stood in the dungeon where they kept slaves, yes, enslaved people, our ancestors. And it was very, very moving, very emotional. And then to come here and be amongst...
They are globalists. Exactly, Seven Gali. Exactly, Four Rivers, GD. You cannot trust him. He is in the back pocket of globalists. He is a paid darling of boule, of this propaganda against our will. Now think about that. There's millions of us, may not be 40 million though, but there's millions of us nonetheless in America who has not thought about Africa and will never think about Africa. And yet our representative is over there in Ghana speaking like it's a done deal. It's a done deal.
Slaves, yes. Enslaved people, our ancestors. And it was very, very moving and very emotional. And then to come here and be amongst the descendants of those people, that line that ties us. And so first I just want to say thank you to this extraordinary woman of Africa. I cannot tell you, there are always those amongst us.
And who else do you have there? Did you guys see that lady? Hold on. That lady that came. Hold on. The white lady. Do y'all see her? I think she's the one that has the LGBTQ agenda that's in Ghana right now, trying to also bring that. And I think, isn't Cory Booker gay? Or am I wrong? Somebody tell me if that's right or wrong. I thought it was him. Maybe it's somebody else. But the gay agenda, this lady right here, she's the one that is pushing the gay agenda there in Ghana. There she is in the photo, y'all. She just came out of nowhere. What the fuck?
I tell you, there are always those amongst us who keep us grounded and keep us rooted. And keep us reminded of who we are and from whence we came. Those people should be honored amongst us. And so I'm so grateful to one of the two ambassadors I have here. I stood there and looked out at the ocean and imagined the boats taking people out to the ships and people chained, and we were told how many were lost just in those little boats going to the ships. But that idea of the year of return, which I had known about for so long, and talked about coming in order to return, you need light. You really do. You need a lighthouse. Ships from all around who come over some really rough seas and difficult waters. The way you come home is to have a light guiding the way. And so I just want to say, Ambassador, you have been a light for all of us. Great light workers I've met on my Senate journey. And what you have created here, you've shown that you can turn dreams and visions into tangible realities. And we were all connected by blood and ancestry. And that is the spiritual connections. But you've helped those spiritual bonds turn into physical ones that bring us together in each other's presence. So I am in awe of you. I'm almost speechless. But I want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
He should be speechless because he's not representative of us. And here is a clip where he says, what if it matters if I'm gay? He has an agenda attached to his name, and it's been the gay agenda. And that white lady that slipped into the photo, she is a representative of she's gay as well. And she's pushing the propaganda to try to go to Ghana with the gay agenda. And here is Cory Booker. Hold on.
It's not just the economy or education up for debate, but what it means to be a real man.
It's just disheartening to hear somebody in this day and age in the United States of America basically implicate that gay men are not men, that they're not guys.
That's Cory Booker, Newark's mayor and New Jersey's Democratic candidate for Senate. It came after Republican challenger Steve Lonegan spoke out about comments Booker made to the Washington Post. Booker, who is single, telling the paper he had not found a life partner. Also saying, I love seeing on Twitter when someone says I'm gay. And I say, so what does it matter if I am? So be it. I hope you're not voting for me because you are making the presumption that I'm straight. Lonegan's response?
Maybe that helps to get him the gay vote by acting ambiguous.
And he said this about an earlier comment Booker made that a girlfriend got him hooked on pedicures.
Was described as his peculiar fetish is how it was described. I have a more peculiar fetish. I like a good scotch and a cigar.
The thought that what defines manhood is the drink that you drink or the cigar that you smoke. I think that he just really misses the boat on what it means to be a man in America.
Booker also took to Twitter, responding to a critic who questioned his sexuality, saying, "Your bigotry is no less heinous than race bigotry." Lonigan clarifying his position during a press conference today.
You know, this election is not about, validating Cory Booker's lifestyle. I don't care if Cory Booker is gay or straight. Problem is, he's too liberal for New Jersey.
His earlier comments still a concern for gay rights advocates like Troy Stevenson.
To have a public official, somebody that's running for the United States Senate, to tell them that there is a way they have to behave to be considered a real man, it's shocking.
For now, the man leading the latest polling is Booker by nearly 30 percentage points.
Thank you.
He is definitely an agent used for agendas. The gay agenda has always been attached to him. He's in Ghana now. They're pushing and peddling the gay agenda alongside of our agenda against us as being American, telling us that we need to invest. Don't talk about nothing related to you going on in America. We're not concerned about what's happening over there in America to y'all, specifically Black Americans. We need to be concerned about Ghana, be concerned about Africa. Invest, try and err, invest. It's an agenda, y'all. Y'all see the pieces come together slowly but surely. You see how we're being used up for our rights, and everything that's attached to us is now going over there to Ghana and skipped over us with the help and use of our so-called representative, Cory Booker. And so many other people have went to Ghana. The Black Caucus has gone to Ghana. Nancy Pelosi has gone to Ghana. The vice president has gone to Ghana. Everybody's going to Ghana. Where have they gone to help and assist us in America? The only thing that you have seen is Biden eating chicken. I'm talking about watermelon and Kool-Aid or whatever the hell he did that one time that I showed the video. What have they done for us? Just stupid little gatherings for food or pictures. That's it. Everybody else is getting something tangible, but our name is being used for other agendas, whether we want it to or not. This is what makes me upset, because we have no control over our narrative. We have no control over our ethnicity. We have no voice right now. It's being scattered all over the place. So many other overwhelming voices are taking over our voices and making us null and voided. That's why this platform is very important for us to think more critical about how we're being used up and used against us. Our representatives are working against us. They don't care about what happens to us, but they're still telling us to spend money in Ghana and go to Ghana, subliminally and outright.
I think that the eclipse is showing us, it's showing us that it's time for a change to take place. That it's time for one way of things being done and handled in the world to things, a time where things need to change in a more righteous manner. So we're standing on that. We know that the kingdom is coming.
We're waiting for people to do right by us. We take the leap of faith and chances, and then we have to wait and see if you're going to do right by us. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to do right by you. And eventually, like I said, they're saying there's 15,000 in Ghana. Let's see how that transpires in the next 3 to 4 years. How many other horrible stories come up out of that? What ways is Ghana guaranteeing us anything? Those 15 supposedly thousand people that's in Ghana right now, that's from America, or the so-called diaspora, whatever. I don't know if it's the collection of UK alongside of Canada and whatever, or just America. But 15,000 has come to Ghana to deal with them business-wise and living there, again, taking a leap of faith, trusting in this government, trusting in this Pan-African talk, trusting in the Asians such as Go Back to Africa, who is constantly telling us to flee America and go to, now he's saying any of the 54 states, just get out of America. An ex-military guy who is always devoted to that same messaging, specifically to us. Is he talking to the migrants about not coming to America? How it's going to treat you ultimately and do you dirty? No. He hears their stories and say, oh, they want a better life. But when it comes to us, y'all need to flee. Y'all need to go.
At the perfect time where, we represent that. And it's no coincidence that this is happening at the same time as that. As well as Passover. Passover is just a few weeks away.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And I know that many of us are standing with you all. And I'll say this right here. Ghana does need definitely prayer, because I tell you, the lack of morality that exists in some of the people, I see the corruption that happens. I see that anything goes. And I had to actually come to an understanding that it's just Ghana. And I thank the Most High that my heart has come out of darkness into the light, because it would be easy to find myself in.
I wish he would spare me all that type of garble talk. He wants to put himself like a messiah so bad. He is trying to paint this picture like he's our Moses or something. Man, would you stop that bullshit?
Here. And I don't know even if it's, sometimes I wonder if it's just welcome. And the behaviors and the actions that I see from the higher ups down to the little boy on the street, that there are just those who, because of a system in place, that it's acceptable to show dishonesty, not have integrity, to be able to take money underneath the table and then go and rip land away from people, pay people off. I have, Most High shows me that I must walk in a different path while I'm here in Ghana. Though that there are those who come to me and say, you can do it here, you can get away with it here, you can do this, brother, you can do that. And I'm like, no, I choose not to walk in the ways of how some of these Ghanaians walk. And I believe that if people would just rise up to us.
They have a scamming culture issue. West Africans have a culture full of scamming and corrupt issues, starting with the government and down to the people. Not all, but a whole bunch of them. A whole bunch of them.
Standard. Ghana could rise up and be a great country. But if we are perpetuating the old habits by those of the past and pushing it forward into our youth, then we already can see what the future is going to be just by looking at the youth who can sit and look at you and that can lie to you, that will do mischief or sins or mischievous or lasciviousness behaviors that really are decrepit in the youth. Yeah. When Ghana invite these so-called stars and rappers who come spew out garbage amongst the ears of the youth, when I see the young ladies turning more into prostitution. I just had a meeting with 2 young men today who were disgruntled because they want to find a good woman, and women keep asking them for money. You want me? Give me the money. Right. When I'm seeing the more of these strip clubs that are rising up in Ghana, here in Accra, when I'm seeing all of this mess come, and so then I have to ask myself, I can't get mad if it's the system, because every country has its right. I've said this before. Every country has its right to run it the way it wants to run. And I'm finding more and more that it is contrary to my walk with the Most High. And so my thing is that that's why I've said I cannot do any business with Ghana. I can't go forward with Ghana until Ghana realizes that its shortcomings off the path of righteousness is not good.
Right.
It is not good. And so, I mean, I don't even know if Ghana knows what it's about to get into. Because Ghana,
more importantly, what are the people that's trusting getting into? That's the question. You know, remember when Meek Mills went to Ghana? Now the so-called rumors of him and Diddy are all throughout YouTube, them being together in that way down low. But let's recap when he was in Ghana. Again, they're using everybody at us.
Give a fuck about what you did. I know that killing nigga ain't gangsta. I'd rather buy my mama crib. Really, I still believe in prayer. I know that God gon' clean my sins. You know my heart is Chris. Lord, I'm sharing my blessings through my friends and through my hood. I barely made the team. I'm with the honors on the wood. This shit wasn't in my dream to buy a team. I'm knowing I could. I'm popping independent, handling my business. I'm feeling good. Wish these niggas would. Blessings, niggas ain't learn they lesson. I gave them time, they get on their grind, but niggas ain't do no stuff. I gave her time to make up her mind, she fucked as soon as she met me. Rubbing the time, he told him his dog for what? A perk and a Pepsi. I told him.
What kind of mess was that? That scrubber muffin went to Ghana. Like I said, so many rappers, so many celebrities, movie stars, all the so-called representatives have been to Ghana or going to Ghana. They're signaling to us what is now supposedly our future, whether we want to believe in it or not. They have moved on without us. And for those that want to see a little bit of the clips, I've caught a little bit of it to show y'all. Hold on. It showed it a minute ago. Hold on. Let me see. Where was that? Let me see. It must have just passed already. Hold on. Here's a little clip of it, if you can see that, of the eclipse. But let me see if it shows a better one. I don't want to see it in real time because you can have eye issues if you look at it. I don't want to take no chances. So anyways, I appreciate everybody for listening. Let's get back to Go Black to Africa. I think the eclipse is going to mean a lot. Supposedly, you're not supposed to be out and about today because crazy energy is floating about and people are going to be coming out of their skin and acting more of a fool, as if we need that. Oh, let me read this before I go forward. I'm sorry. Let me get back to the chat room and then I'll start up again. Those Hebrews in Ghana have been turned into refugees there. Yeah, they have. They had to move in with other people, start all over again. How you doing, Miss Pat? Thank you for coming through. Hi, EDAC. You said Senator Cory Booker is not to be trusted. He's obviously a globalist. That's what he is. He is a agent. But you see what he's up on. Yes, Cory Booker is not concerned about Black Americans. He sounds stupid. Yes, he does. Hold up. I'm still listening while multitasking. X Jersey boy Cory Booker is who Kiki said to contact about the Black American women dying in Africa. Kiki, what up? Exposed. Seven Golly says, I don't know if I should write a letter to him because he's already in the back pocket of those people. I don't know who we could talk to reason with. I just feel like if there was a whole bunch of numbers of us contacting different offices, making calls, emails, faxes, letters about our issues of being bypassed and ignored might raise awareness on our efforts, but that's just my opinion. But it just seems like nobody's interested. Nobody's interested in doing things collectively anymore. And if it takes a little effort, nobody's down for it. Nobody's down for it. I'm making a clip about this tonight or as soon as possible. Wow. Good afternoon, for Black. How you doing, Rockabye baby? Thank you for coming through. You said many of the Israelite brothers who moved to Ghana in the 60s came from Chicago, went with women who received public assistance and practiced polygamy. Yeah, a lot of those men that want to go to Africa are practicing polygamy, and they want harems of women, and they want kids all over the place, and then they want to turn around and tell us to help take care of all their women and all their kids. That is the movement of many Black American men right now through this Pan-African talk. They're moving exactly like the Israelites did back when, and now they put a Pan-African spin on it. And they want us to support their families. Talking about let's build a community. Don't you have your own? You don't need us to have a community. You have all these wives and kids all over the place. What you need us for? Anyways, it's time for Americans to tune out politicians and celebrities. EDEC says they are property of globalist cartels. Exactly. That, you get me, EDEC. You get me. You know exactly what I've been talking about. That's exactly what I've been talking about. Unbelievable. Cory Booker, shaking my head. For Black, damn, you should get monetized for your never-ending fight. Would you want to be monetized? I had to think about that, because the reason for me being on here is to just tell the truth. I don't want to be influenced by money or, having an agenda that I have to keep to. You notice that most people stay on a same topic that gives them constant monies, and they don't deviate hardly from those topics. It dumbs them down to the point where they're paralyzed not to speak up about anything tangible and legit. I can say whatever comes to mind and heart, because I don't have nobody having no kind of strings attached to me, maneuver me any kind of way. This is just my spirit. This is just what I've observed, and this is what I am understanding and just trying to reveal. I don't have anyone pimping me. I don't have nobody luring me or tricking me into being something that I'm not. And I don't want to change. I don't want that on me. So right now I have to think about that long and hard. But thank you for thinking about that. I thought Ghana said no to the gay community. Well, they're still in conversations. They said they don't want it. They're going back and forth, but they're still in the ear of Ghana. This agenda is still like a smoke going all around the room, and it's not settled. It hasn't gone away. It's still thick in the air with the smoke of the agenda. And they're using us as a bargaining tool for so-called investments, for so-called going to Ghana to visit, tourism. They're using us as, like I say in the game of chess, as pawns. We're being used. And that's the sickening part of it all. We're being used against our own will, against our will. They're just on an agenda using us, using so-called slavery, using the so-called return to Africa, using the agenda for the LGBTQ also attached to us with those so-called civil rights, human rights. All of that is attached to us. They keep using us up like hoes for other agendas against our betterment, against us as being left alone to live our lives as Americans and fight for our own rights here in America, where we used to be about what's going on in America, has seemed to disappear since the 60s. Suddenly is everything but what's going on here in America, is everything pertaining to going outside of America. Look at the passport bros, how they're being utilized. They're traveling everywhere looking for that feminine so-called woman to listen to them. We're being told so many different things to do outside of America on purpose. And it's all working together against us having any rights and any stance in America as we used to. They're trying to loosen us up from the grips of America tied to us. And they're using everything they can to lessen up the grip of us claiming to be as we have been. And it's working. You said, never heard of Cory Booker being gay, though. Never knew, though. So many cowardly DL men and women. Yes, a lot of them. No, that's Pete. What's that? Bootkin or another guy? Wow, Cory Booker, what the hell? Even if he's not gay, he still let his name be used as a possibility of being gay, as you saw in the video. Now Cory Booker into spiritualism. Yeah, let him tell it. 4Black said he should be speechless. Yes, stop talking that bull. See? Wow. I knew Booker was full of crap when he was a politician in New Jersey. He did nothing for Black Americans there and still won't. Exactly. And we're supposed to listen to him? Oh, I'm tagging him in my remix for the live tonight. Thank you for that, Seven Golly. Let me know when you go live. I definitely want to see that. Yeah, the Democrats are our enemies. If y'all don't know, the Democrats are definitely not for bettering Black Americans. They're dismantling everything against us. And hopefully we will get the memo and don't vote Democrats, for God's sake. At least don't vote. If you don't want to vote for a Republican, don't vote at all. Do not vote for Democrats. Senator Booker has been linked to gay king and actress Rosario Dawson. Oh, how was he dating? Gay king? I didn't hear about that. What do you mean by that, Edek? They continue to throw tinker trinkets at the Black indigenous Americans like they did when they stole their land in America. Exactly. Sis, I like your fire, but you preaching to the choir. Seems like most Black Americans have drank the Kool-Aid and don't give a shit. They don't. It's sad. It's really sad for them to just bend over like they have and just let it all hang out and let themselves get done any kind of way. And then people still say, keep doing it, keep doing it. It's insanity. At some point, you have to understand it's a trap set for us on purpose. Stop promoting buying land. Stop promoting visiting. Stop promoting living there. Y'all going to see the stories. I'm going to keep delivering the stories that happen to these people as I find them to showcase what happened to these people. And a lot of times these people are going to be online begging for money, wanting GoFunds, wanting donations when they get in a jam. That's what they're using their platforms for us to save them when they get in trouble. Or sometimes it's too late. They're unalived and they need burial expenses and traveling as well, the body to be sent back to America, all these other things that now they're asking for us to do. We're seeing what's happening to our people. We saw what happened in Gambia. Are we going to ignore what we just saw? How many times do we have to see the same story repeat and not come to the conclusion that that's not the direction we ought to go? But still people are going to say, oh, that was just random. Oh, that didn't happen like you saw it. It really was this. We still should give it a chance. We still should put faith, more hope into Africa. And there is no guarantees that's provided. So that is dumb as hell. It's offensive to me personally when Biden does things like that and trying to get Black votes by paying Cardi B, who said never again, and Latifah now allegedly pay attention to Sleepy Joe. Yeah, using her like she's Black. This Cardi B, isn't she Latino? What is she doing? Again, they're using anybody as our representation. They don't give a damn. They have no respect, no regard. And the problem is a lot of us don't have respect for ourselves either. And people just doing us any kind of way. So disrespectful all across the board. And hardly nobody's saying a peep about it. You said, we got to stop waiting. People are selfish. They ain't going to do right by us. We just have to put blinders on and be proactive. That's right, EasyX. You got to do that. I'm going to miss the entire eclipse because this is insane. Sorry about that, Seven Golly. They'll show it on the news. You know that. Would-be reps who wants to be us or U.S. senators and congressperson have to run for office and expose these globalists and their agenda. I don't know where that representative is talking the talk of anti-globalists. I have yet to see a Black American that's speaking against this agenda. They're not hiring or what do you call it, voting in these representatives so far that don't have the globalist agenda. If you guys know one that's not a globalist, let me know, because I have not seen one yet. Yes, Go Black is such a fraud. He is. Let me just determine and shut YouTube down right now. Okay, be back. Isn't Go Black's wife still in America? Yes, she is. She's a doctor. She was on a month trip with Go Black recently, though, in I think the Middle East, was it? Or no, in the Asian countries. They went over there, Singapore and other places like that, DJT. I always watch it on the news, not taking any chances. Same here, Four Rivers. I only watch it on the news. My eyes are already bad. I don't need no hiccups with my eyes. Go Black's wife was in Asia with him. I don't know where they are now. She went back home and he's in Ghana now. Hate the style of the rap. Exactly. I don't know what mess was that. LOL, many of those Pan-Africans have built their own personal communities with baby mamas. That's exactly what they're doing. And then they want us to help take care of their damn kids is what they want. Ghana is going to go gay. They will sell out for money. Eventually they will. And once Ghana falls, the domino effect in the West Africa, I think the first to fall will be Ghana. I think that if the money is given and they use us up and spit us out to the best of their ability, they'll succumb to that agenda. And it's unfortunate that that's what's going to end up happening. But there is a price tag to selling out. And I believe that this president will sell out. It's just a matter of when. There's something else I wanted to show y'all. Let me see. Oh, no, I'll go do that later. Hold on. What's that? No. Thank you all for listening. If you have not yet, please do me a favor by liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's get back to this. It's almost over. I'll let this finish up first. There has been no conclusion so far. He says he's hanging in there with hope and a prayer that Ghana is going to do right by him and his Hebrew Israelites that had the demolition done there in Ghana a year ago. And thus far, nothing has happened. No money, no new land, no new nothing. But he still sits up here a year later having faith and hope that one day Ghana's going to do right by them. One day we'll be one big Black family. That's not ultimately the truth.
Because Ghana don't realize, as they want to do the so-called year of return, and you're only pulling people who wants to party, do drugs, run your women into whores that want to do this evil wickedness, deals underneath the table and scam. I see them. You let some of these people come from America who's ruthless, they'll run this country in the ground with the quickness. And I guarantee.
Again, why is he blaming anything on us? What do we have to do with what Ghana's doing already to themselves? Everybody uses us as a scapegoat for their rhetoric. We always the boogeyman. We're always the villain. We always can make things a lot worse. Instead of protecting us and speaking about our protection and keeping us out of harm's way and keeping the story on that line, now he's going here.
They'll enslave Ghanaians. And I'm saying this with a heart of love.
So now we're going to be enslaving Ghanaians. Are you kidding me? Did he just say that? Hold on, y'all.
Ghana is going to invite those sorts of behaviors because its system puts blind eyes to actions like our brothers and sisters who lose lands, who dies from the disputes of land. You're in a world of trouble, Ghana.
Yeah.
If you want to be the father of wickedness, oh, she's coming. She's coming. And when she comes, For those who leave out and die out of this world, those who leave out of the administrative cabinets, those who've gone on back over to their Western worlds when they got the money and they ran, they're leaving you with the bag of crime, infestation, diseases, and all that. So anyway, I had to just put that out. That's what the Lord put them all. Just spewed out of me. So I had to put that out there because I care for my Ghanaians. Because like I said, I know beautiful Ghanaians. I know people who are fighting to do the right thing. I know law-abiding citizens, upright standing people here. They're so far few in between. They really are. And they tell me about all these people who are doing wrong here. So, brother, please share with us any other information that you. Let's put a little bright light here on this. Demona about to have an anniversary coming up. Am I correct?
That's right. We're about to have we're about to celebrate our 50th anniversary of our New World Passover this year in Demona. That's the event. I think you were blessed to be able to attend.
And that's the same place where Israel was just having them about a year ago tell them that they were supposed to get evicted. And I guess they still fought and they're still in talks or whatever. But that a year ago was just, y'all have so many days to leave. So it's very interesting. They're still celebrating being there. Very interesting.
My brother, there in Demona, it's a celebration of our exodus that we left America and returned back to the promised land a little bit over 50 years ago. So we're having our 50-year anniversary. So it's like a Jubilee celebration for us this year. Big celebration we're going to have in Demona this year. Hopefully you'll be there. Hopefully I'll be there. Hopefully we'll see each other.
I'm not going to be able to make it this year here. I'm going to be over in Brazil. So, I won't be able to make it. But I do know that there's many people from around the globe that goes to to Demona during this time of celebration. If there are those who are interested in wanting to participate for Demona, because I believe everybody should be able to witness a Black community that left America, put the D in front of America, capitalized the E, back in 1969, and have thrived in a way that is unmatched or one that cannot fathom that we as a people can grow in harmony, in love, and unity. Where it is something that is unbelievable, there is a place that we can see that we can do it. And they are the examples, the pillars, I believe, of an example that came out of damn America and have shown the world. Many people, whether you want to call those in high positions, those who are from different walks of life, have come to Demona just to see and to experience what they have.
Demona is not a guarantee. Again, let me find a video. Just a year ago, they were told to get up out of Israel. I'm sure that threat is not going to go away. But he's still selling the dream that it's all good. Well, what they did, let me see, Hebrew Israelites told to leave Israel, told to leave Israel. All the stress of what they had talked about before, he forgot about that. They just were threatened with deportation. Let's play a little clip of this as a reminder. There's no guarantee nowhere where you go. Eventually, we're going to end up becoming refugees. That's the way I'm seeing how this is going. We're going to end up turning into refugees. By the way, please like and share the video. Please subscribe to this channel. All fair use of all video for educational, observational, and research purposes.
What's up, family? By now, most of you have heard about the anybody can get it war going on between Israel and Palestine. What you may not be aware of is the Black Hebrew Israelite religious community in Israel. That's right, fam. They got black folks out there. About 3,000 of them. And many of them, well, dozens of them, are at risk of being deported. Yeah. All of this happened when...
Now, where would they be deported to? They've been gone since the 60s. Where would they be deported to? America or Africa now? But that was the question of them possibly being evicted about a year ago.
The group tried to formalize their identity in Israel. Yeah, they wanted to formalize their status. And the government said, hold on, wait. Get up out of here. Get up out of here with that. Back in 2021, Israel's interior minister sent letters urging members of the community to leave within 60 days, despite some of them having been born in the Jewish state. Some of those ordered out of Israel have lived in the country, forget this fam, more than 20 years. One black Hebrew Israelite said, I was born here, raised here, was educated here, and I don't know any other place in the world. Black Hebrew Israelites are groups of black Americans who believe that they are descendants of ancient Israelites of the Bible. The movement began in the late 19th century in the United States, however, later expanded in separate strands. Israel's black Hebrew Israelite community first came together in Chicago in the 1960s under the leadership of Ben Carter, a preacher who later became...
See, he made the dream of going to Israel a reality. And when he passed on, I noticed that this Pan-African talk took a hold of his group. In fact, they weren't calling themselves Hebrew Israelites. They were calling themselves African Hebrew Israelites. It changed. They are a group that's being targeted for propaganda. And whatever happens to them is kind of like the lead of what could happen to us. So the demolition that happened in Ghana with the guy that was being interviewed by Go Black, again, it's not resolved. They bulldozed their shit over. They made those people homeless. They had to get the fuck on and go do whatever they had to go do, but they couldn't stay there. They have not remedied what they did to those people after a year now. These are the same people that was told to leave up out of Israel almost a year ago. So they're kind of the lead for the propaganda with the globalists are trying to tell us what to do. And again, they're trying to reaffirm this notion that we need to get up out of America and go to Africa. This has been the agenda. It's an ongoing propaganda agenda against us. They're not targeting migrants. They're not targeting illegals. They're not targeting immigrants. They're targeting the people that have always been in America, the ones that are fighting to be recognized as an ethnicity, the ones that have been fighting to be recognized by this government and by Americans and by America. It still goes through us with propaganda and agendas that I've been pointing out that's been going on behind the scenes and now in front of our faces by globalists, by people that's been sent. And they're trying to, again, tell us we are not to stay in America. Whether you go to Israel, whether you go to Africa, whether you go anywhere else, like the Passport Bros, anywhere else but stay in America is the agenda.
Known as being Israel. His father was settled in Israel in the 1960s and 1990s, with many of them receiving citizenship and residency. However, some did not, along with other members of the community, and they are now being forced to leave. So what do y'all think about that, fam?
So surprisingly, the story went away. That story went away. And now they're celebrating being in Israel for 50 years, according to the guy that's being interviewed by Go Black to Africa. Again, every time you turn around, there they are being used talking about Africa, talking about Israel, talking about our identity. They have this so-called celebration. I don't know why they're celebrating when just a year ago you were told to go. And that conversation can be brought up again after this war is won or lost, whatever Israel and Palestine is doing. For how long it's going to continue, I don't know. I guess because they're in war, they need some of those Hebrew Israelites that are part of the army to fight for their lives, to sacrifice their lives, rather, in this war. Maybe that's why they postpone asking them to go, because of the war, so that they can risk their life for the ones that are considered military. Is that why it went away?
What they have truly done. So, brother, is there any place that people can go if they are interested in wanting to tour or participate in the celebration?
Oh, absolutely. If you get a chance to go, normally we have what you call 2 days of main celebrations called the New World Proper, where the activities are going on right there in Dimona, a whole set of activities, and then there's a sacred visitation that takes place. Pretty soon, I'm sure that our committee that deals with New World Passover have all the information available, so that anyone who wants to come can go. I'm sure that information is probably already out, so I'll be glad to share that with you, so you can share that with your listeners and viewers. Some of your upcoming broadcasts.
Okay. So last words, my brother, as we come to a close. And I want to make sure everybody understands that you said that tomorrow you all enter into the court system with this land. And I guess they're going to hear the complaint.
Sure.
Okay.
So it'll be the first hearing, and so the first thing is to the lawyers looking to move the motion that's been filed for the injunction on property. So that'll be the first objective in the court tomorrow, and that'll be the beginning of things. And like I said, we pray that it doesn't have to go to full length. We pray that it continues to be at the heart of everyone to resolve this, so it doesn't have to go to full length. But if it has to, it has to. But at the end of the day, again, just want to share that update with our beloved brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora, our other loved brothers and sisters here in Ghana, who also, there's a lot of people here in Ghana who
remember, they were supposedly the chosen people. They were the real true Israelites of the Bible. They were to return, according to the Bible, to Israel. How did that get flipped to Africa? How did that get flipped to the diaspora? How did that get flipped to African Hebrew Israelites? Propaganda. Someone in their organization got bought off, and now it's changed to Ghana, to Africa. But it was supposedly, according to the Bible, we're to return to Israel. Again, the identity crisis, the identities that we have assumed away from America has been going on with the Hebrew Israelites, and it continues now with Pan-Africanism. It continues with the same vein of thought that we should leave and we're not truly accepted in America, so we need to be received elsewhere outside of America. Take the leap of faith, spend your money, spend your hope and dreams and everything else towards Africa. And once you get burnt and you have no recourse, there you are. That eventually, I believe, will be the end result to so many other people that keep on trying, because there are no guarantees for us, just like there's no guarantees for Africans. We're going to get treated the same way. We're not going to get spared. So now they entered in talking about court. Hopefully he'll give an update as to what has happened after, to see what Ghana's going to do, because we all have eyes on this case.
Really been able to get a first-hand update on things as well, just because of the silence we've committed to. So just to give as much of an update as we can, again, because we can't say much at this time, but to say that I pray that every one of us continue to know that this is a season and a time that righteousness must prevail. Righteousness is what has to prevail. And, it's going to prevail one way or the other. But the best thing is for us to be mature enough in this season of our life as people, as diasporans, as Ghanaians, just fellow human beings on the planet, to stand for righteousness in every way possible, so that we can see that the future for the generations ahead can be different than what we're experiencing now. We are definitely living in a time where we see that we're facing so many issues around the world, and we haven't been discouraged because we're firmly rooted in the idea that if we stand on righteousness and truth, that at the end, then there's hope. And so we're asking the diaspora to stand with us, continue to stand with us, and continue to inquire and to continue to demand that righteous outcome is achieved in this matter, so we can move on to the greater things that we need to address as a people for our future to be secure, as a whole.
But there is no security as far as I can see. And like I said, I'm going to stay up on that topic once it presents itself. I was wondering what happened to that demolition, to the people that were affected. It took them a long time to come back with an update. I hope it does not take a whole nother year before we hear back about what has happened. But as I said, they left America years and years ago. Here was then the leader that led the charge to leave America, and his explanation back when as to why he left America. He was the founder of this move. A spiritual alternative. Interviewed in Washington, D.C. in 2002 in a program, just went away. Spiritual alternative, I guess.
Hello, and welcome to Spiritual Alternatives. I'm your host, Brother Baruch, and this is a program where we offer information about spirituality that you might not find in mainstream America. Today, we're blessed to have with us none other than Ben Or, the anointed spiritual leader of the African Hebrew Israelites. And before we go into this interview, I'd like to give you a brief historical review on what this brother represents. First off, he represents a body of over 3,500 people that have journeyed outside of America and traveled to Israel to reestablish the kingdom of God. These people have established a model community free of crime, free of violence, free of the nutritional and other biological problems that our people face here in the United States of America. We are blessed this evening to have Ben Or in our studios. Thank you for coming and welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here and to share what I refer to as the good news for our people. And I feel, considering the circumstances that they find themselves in, I feel that some good news should be very, very welcome to them.
Indeed. And when we speak about good news, when we look at the world around us, here in the United States, there in the Northeast Africa, or some call the Middle East, what good news do you have to offer? What good news do you have to bring to us about the reality of your community that might make us feel better about ourselves and what we might need to do as a people?
Well, first of all, I feel that we need to reassess the direction of our struggle. My being here at this time is an attempt to change the direction of the struggle of our people from one that is secular, political, and economic to one that is spiritual and redemptive. Our people are quite involved in a secular struggle, but in a secular struggle, you cannot involve or invoke God into your struggle on your side. When I refer to a spiritual struggle, I'm saying that the only way that our people will find their way out of the present predicament is that if they are able to invoke God into their struggle on their side. And in order to invoke God into their struggle on their side, they're going to have to be reconciled with the fact that they will have to move to represent His best interests on this earth.
It's a great answer. And we do have...
And we're the only ones told to do this, exactly. And he has been a founder of the Move. This was years ago in 2002 before he passed. He's trying to reaffirm his so-called notion of us taking another direction for the Black Americans in America and what we need to do and follow his lead. This is what his talk was about.
Actually have a film clip of a program that you spoke on here in Washington, D.C. In just a minute, we're going to break away to that. Brother Ben-Ami, your trek outside of America back in the 60s, during the turmoil of the 60s, can you explain to us why?
Well, first of all, I would like to share a little bit of our history with you. And from that history, you'll be able to determine that we, and the words that were spoken, in fact, set that turmoil in motion in the 60s. It was in February of 1966, and I had a vision, and the angel Gabriel came to bring the word of God that it was time to start the journey back to the promised land and to establish the long-awaited kingdom of God. And the year of the Exodus would be 1967. Certainly, I pondered, I prayed, I meditated as to how I would in fact convince any significant number of our people to leave America en route to the promised land, a place that in fact did not really exist for us as a geographical location in less than 2 years. As a result of those words that were spoken, finally, to the members of the congregation, and after that, on every opportunity, it was a result of those words that the great riots in 1966, the cities were burning. We are absolutely sure at this time that the question that I had pondered, how was I to convince a significant number of our people to leave America, that the events were set in motion by me having faith in those words that were given unto me by the angel. 1967, the great riots continued, the length and breadth of America, in fact, creating the environment which would give...
So he was given a message by an angel, right? Okay, he's supposed to be Moses to these people. It is a cult. It is his specific cult that he carved out during the 60s. And this is his words back in 2002 about him hearing from an angel. Everybody's hearing from something for us to do something other than being an American. Everybody hears all these voices, all these messages. Now Pan-Africans are also spinning this tale. Listen.
The impetus for a significant number of our people to hear my call for the Exodus and to start the journey back to the promised land. As the word of God had come, the Exodus did begin in 1967. Under the smokescreen of the great riots, the redemptive struggle for our people was set in motion by the Holy One of Israel.
But again, Israel is not the Holy Land. Ghana now is turning into being the Holy Land. And again, we're always used for different propagandas. All they need is to get a certain amount of money, and then they can turn their message to mean something else. And this is what this message now is telling us to think on, which is Ghana and Africa, Pan-Africanism. We're not really American. We shouldn't stay in America because of how we're treated. Meanwhile, we're being replaced by immigrants, migrants, illegals, everybody under the sun. No one is bothering those people, but they're bothering us. And this is why I do my videos to showcase we are definitely a targeted group. There's definitely agendas and propaganda attached to our name, and everybody's expecting us to follow like sheep on these different movements and trends that are being exposed on YouTube. Let me see what you're saying. Gold Black has lost his goddamn mind. Funkin' Panty. Yeah, he's definitely a leaner of Pan-Africanism. He denounced Pan-Africanism about a month ago or so, but he still talks Pan-African talk. Let me go back up. I read that. Oh yeah, Gold Black's wife was in Asia with him. But again, she's back in America being a doctor. He's in Ghana right now. Yeah, I read that. Yeah, Pan-Africans are building their own personal communities with their baby mamas. They want harems of women, and they want us to help foot the bill for their bullshit. That's what they want. Easy Acts, Ghana is going to go gay. They will sell out for money. And once Ghana falls, the domino effect in West Africa. I think Ghana will eventually fall because the price will be right to somebody and they will fall. Cory Booker date Oprah's self-proclaimed best friend, Gayle King. Wow, that might have been for propaganda just to clear up the so-called gay talk. Go Black has lost his goddamn mind. He is a panty. Yes, Go Black is trying to scapegoat Black Americans after he's encouraged Black Americans to go to Ghana. He's now trying to turn Ghana against them. He's a piece of crap. He really is, like, gonna say we're gonna bring in crime and disease and all this other bad behavior and all that. Why tell us to go somewhere that we're not accepted or that we're not fitting with our own Western mindset? Why talk double talk? That's all he does. DJT says, I think I saw that video of them in Asia. Weren't the women flirting with him? I don't know that part, but I'm sure he might have. Some prostitutes probably were flirting with him. Some people think that the Black American alleged transatlantic didn't happen, but will be in reverse. Black Americans will be enslaved in Africa. I believe that to be true. I believe that a lot of us will fail in Africa. It's just a matter of time. And again, people are not going to bat an eye because of all the other foreign Blacks that go through whatever they go through. Consider in Haiti, consider what happens in different parts of Africa, different wars that happen, famines that happen, bulldozing that happen, displacement that happen. There is no recourse for all those people that are forced to migrate and they make their way to UK, America, and everywhere else. And the only people that have not been touched by that activity is Black Americans. So it's no wonder why they're trying to tell us to do the same thing as other foreign Blacks do, so that we be caught up in the same situation eventually. It's a matter of when. It's just got to have the right conditions and the right time. It's going to happen. That's what I predict. You said the Asian women were flirting with him. He said he would rate his wife a 4 or 5. Yeah, I remember that. He probably was in Asia trying to make his wife think he was a good catch. Okay. How you doing, Indonesia? I guess that's your name. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. You said Go Black. Black's wife is a doctor and still practicing in the United States. His children are also in the United States. Yes, but I have heard him say that when he says it's time for her to go, he expects her to just pick up and go with him because he's the man, he's the leader. He thinks that there will be a time where he's settled enough. He's made all these investments that's going to pan out with his, apartment buildings or whatever the hell he's doing. And he's expecting her, when he's finalized everything, for her to just pick up and leave America and go wherever he says to go, because he's the man and he's the husband and he's the lead. And he's been preaching that. And I'm sure she will follow just like that. DJT says, I'm sick of all the derogatory names they call America, damn America, and the illusion. What does it make Africa, the delusion or the illusion? We could speak up about Africa. Like I said, I don't have to say anything. I could just showcase what Africans are saying. I could just showcase all the people risking their lives to leave Africa. There's a reason why there's a big migration of Africans coming everywhere else, but staying in Africa, because they are not able to sustain themselves in Africa. But they're telling us that we can. That's the catch. They said that we can do it, but the Africans themselves that are fleeing, they can't. Miss Pat says the original leader of the group was Allen. His specialty was living with 2 or more women and trying to recruit men into his fold. Allen? I didn't hear about Allen, but that's interesting. It's a cult, though, nonetheless. Yes, the Black Americans aren't accepted in Israel. They are crazy to stay there. Eventually, they're going to be told to leave. And what are they going to do when that happens? More than likely, they will go to Africa. I bet you. They went to Ghana first and got kicked out of Ghana. Miss Pat says there were other groups from Chicago who went to other parts of Africa, got kicked out and returned to Chicago. See? But some of those people are not going to be able to, you know, maybe as the Hebrew Israelites, maybe they're a glue that helps their collective out like that. Maybe they have something where they help one another out. But for us who are not a part of that cult, we're on our own. Once we fail, you got to look for a ticket to go back to America. You got to start all over again. And now there's high competition for jobs and everything else, housing and everything else. It's getting harder and harder for us to go back and forth. It's going to get harder and harder as time goes on. You said Ghana also demolition, a Liberian refugee camp. Yup, where the Liberians were staying for decades, 34 years. The Ghanaian authorities removed the refugee status of the camp in 2012 and now finally demolition the place. And they're all homeless today. They're all homeless today. I'm going to keep up on that story and see if anyone's going to ever help them out, or are they just going to be homeless refugees in Ghana? Because that's what they are right now. The lesson that Black Americans should learn from all this is stay your butt at home and be the indigenous American that you are. Exactly. But again, we got too many men that are fleeing, tapping out from their responsibility to be men. They rather go abroad and they rather just feed off of us as donations and whatnot. That's what they're doing. And scams. That's what they're doing. Yes, I heard about that. Does anyone know where the refugee Liberians are now? Homeless in Ghana still? They have not been given a plane ride back to Liberia. They're just out there. In fact, if I can find the video while I'm on here, I'll update you. It might take a minute though. You said it is a problem when the authorities allow you to stay and then change the conditions, and so can demolition the place. Yes, they didn't give them no warning. Maybe it was murmurs that were going around that they were planning on getting rid of the refugee camp, but it was not officially told to them that this was going to happen on this date. They didn't let them get their stuff out in time. They just woke them up in the wee hours of the night with the noise of demolition. So that man thought it was better to run into a country that's been illegally occupied by people who don't like Black people. Yes, that's where he thought to go. An angel told him, Four Rivers. The Bible told him he's a cult. He said he was another cult hustler taking advantage of his people. Yes, and now all his people are at the mercy of Israel and at the mercy of Ghana or wherever else they go. And as you can see, at any time, they can tell them to go or demolition their place, and they're just going to end up being refugees eventually. Easy X says, I'm sorry, don't mean to disrespect religious folk in the chat, but I will wait for God, wherever the F he, she is, to take me by my goddamn hand and lead me to the promised land. I'll stay where I am. Exactly. Why are we only told we have a promised land? Think about that, y'all. Is anybody else being told of a promised land other than us? Nobody else is told about a promised land but us. Us. It's ridiculous. Israel does not want Black people up there. They are treating the Ethiopians among them horrible. Yeah, I heard about that. Yep, Indonesia. I heard about that. Miss Pat says, I was in Chicago at the same time, and he was a fraud living off women and talking mess, just as he was on the video. He treated women like crap. That's what they all want a chance to do. These men, these cult-minded men, these Pan-Africans, and even the Hebrew Israelites, again, they take the women And they lead them out there, and then they're at the mercy of those men. That's the way these men want it. Big black man, Biggs. Random dude, hi. If you're wondering, yes, I am still potato. Oh, going to cults of potato. Okay, I don't know what that means. That's why the Christ told people that in the end, people will try to fool you by saying to go places to find the Savior, but the people should not believe them and stay where they are. Exactly. We're being told to go. Alan and Ben, somebody is the same person. Oh, it's the same person? Okay. Don't forget about the bulldozing of those homesteads in Ethiopia to those Jamaican Rastafarians. The Ethiopians said, hell no. Exactly. That's another example. Jamaicans have been glorifying, what's his name? The past president of Ethiopia, Haile Selassie, saying that they needed to be in Ethiopia or Africa. They were invited, and then they've been treated so messed up since they've been there. They've been struggling since they've been there. It has not been the promised land after all. But we get all these examples, and somehow we still put in our mind that we can do it. We're still being sold that dream. And like I said, it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. It's a matter of when we're all going to see more and more cases of people getting done dirty. And I'm going to be there reporting about it because, hey, somebody got to report it. You said, and now the Black Americans are calling themselves repat and expats. Eventually, the U.S. might not feel obliged to help them return to U.S. once their relocating fails. Exactly, they're not. They're asking themselves out, getting all these citizenships. Dynasty Mir telling people to hurry up and get these citizenships. Eventually, that shit is going to bite them in the ass. And some of that stuff is going to be actually funny because, in a way, funny. Because they had opportunities to look at different things that's happening, examples of what's really happening to us. And they still chose to be dumbed down by what their eyes have shown them. Some of that is going to be karma. Some of that, I'm not going to be tearing up. I'm not going to be tear-eyed for any of them if something befalls them from this point on. After Anja Africa passed, I have no more tears or sadness to give. I'm just going to do the reporting because to embolden the indigenous Black Americans to understand that you really don't have an option outside of America. If you're tricked up out of America by listening to these people that don't care nothing about you, that will not do anything to save you. Think about how Anja Africa went out. Did you see the community embrace her and help her to go back to America to get away from all the stuff that she was talking on? No. They came together once she died. Everybody is always late to the party to help. And that's going to be the same thing that's going to happen to many Black Americans spending every dime they got towards Africa. They're going to learn the hard way. And just remember, I told you so. Looks like these Africans ain't playing either. No, they're not playing. I'm not playing either. Okay. Yes, the plight of the Jamaicans and Ethiopians is sad. They let Haile falsely attach them to Ethiopia. Let me see if I can find a video of that. I think they went to Saint-Germain. Let me see. Jamaicans. Yeah, but it's sad. And you see all these examples of people trying to go and have a leap of faith. And they're treated really messed up. And they're not living better than what they claim they're supposed to be living like. Let me see. Okay. Please like and share the video. I would greatly appreciate it. Here is Bob Marley. Let me show you an example. Bob Marley is talking about Haile Selassie. All this worship of Haile Selassie, what has it gotten Jamaicans? But they're constantly bigging up Haile Selassie.
Says it just starting now.
In the Rasta movement, that Haile Selassie is no longer with us in the physical form. What at the present day is the movement and the energy and the force that keeps the Rasta movement keep it going at this point?
The question is, the whole answer to the question is that no have three son Shem and Japhet, you know. And from Africa, His Majesty our Father. When we search and find out who is Jesus Christ. It's kind to mother in the Bible. See him revealed as Jesus. So that's what I deal with. Him and the God Almighty now. So when His Majesty deal with I know, him and deal with like different, like say for instance now. What is happening today? You know, and what is happening today? Who make the laws of what is happening today? I know that some of them died from 18th century. But the people them still run off of the same 18th century guy. You know what I'm saying? No, His Majesty different. His Majesty God Almighty. But I'm showing some now this image worship.
I don't know what in the hell he was talking about at all, but here is the promised land of Jamaicans there in Ethiopia.
Emperor Selassie!
Rastafarians in the southern Ethiopian town of Shashamane celebrate their Messiah, the late Ethiopian king Haile Selassie. The king gifted land to the Rastas over half a century ago as a place for former slaves and black rights activists to repatriate Africa. But life has proven tough on the promised land. The former communist military government shrunk the 500 hectares to a broken up 6 or 7. And today many Rastas live on lapsed passports without Ethiopian citizenship or the right to work or get a proper education.
We want to be identified as natural Ethiopians now, not as Jamaican, nor American, and I Ethiopians, Rastafari.
The Rastas' political wing, the Ethiopian World Federation, lobbies the Ethiopian government for their land and basic rights.
Our needs, our basic human rights needs, first of all. We need to be able to tell our children that they have a state. Children are being born here, not and being classed as stateless, not able to get IDs here, not able to get...
Stateless, y'all. Stateless, not recognized at all. That's what they ran to the promised land to have happen to them. Stateless. All those promises, though.
IDs from the countries where their parents come from. So we're in a limbo.
Our community is not in one accord. So because of this different ideology, again, different thinking, it's like we cannot approach the government in our oneness.
Despite the community's problems, small numbers of Rastas still repatriate Ethiopia from around the world. This French Rasta doesn't identify with the different Rasta orders and is optimistic about the community's future.
I can affirm in front of you that the future belongs to the Rastas. The kingdom of the Rastas has arrived, and the kingdom of the Rastas will survive forever. The future belongs to the Rastas.
It's estimated about
He looks and sounds crazy, don't he?
1,000 Rastas live in Ethiopia. Many say they're here to stay and will continue fighting for their rights.
And there they are, looking crazy as ever. But again, we have prime examples. What happened to Jamaica and Ethiopia, what is happening now to the Hebrew Israelites in Israel, and what will continue to happen. They're always going to be not given assurances that they are citizens, that they are belonging in all these other places that they're running to, but they're still giving up their money and building and all these things that they're giving away, throwing at Africa in hopes that Africa will love them back. And that's just not the reality on the ground in Africa. Ghana's not treating these people any kind of way. It's been in limbo for a whole year since the demolition of that man's people there in Ghana. They have not been reimbursed their money nor land, and now they're going to court. And that seems to be the thing that will continue to happen. Many court cases, many loss of, like I said, money, property, and eventually they're going to see more and more of us becoming refugees ourselves. And I hope not to see that. But some people, they have to go through that before they realize that what they believed in was not factual. Unfortunately, a lot of people have to crash and burn before they recognize the truth. And it's unfortunate. Let me see what you guys are saying. I'm going to conclude this video. Yes, the plight of the Jamaicans in Ethiopia is sad. Yeah, they let Holly falsely attach them to Ethiopia, and now they're stateless. No tears or feeling sorry for these zombie panties. No, I won't be feeling sorry no more, but I most certainly will report what has happened. The Jamaicans don't look like them. If some of them look like Ethiopians, it's because some of them are mixed with Indians or white. Yeah. And those Jamaicans left their bountiful land to be in a country that's famous for starving. Yeah. Miss Pat says Bob Marley only went to the 6th grade. The Rasta movement started in the 30s as a reaction to the World Depression, learning to eat off the land. Haile Selassie's real name was Rastafari Makamnan. Oh, I didn't know that. Bob Marley's wife tried to live in Ghana. She could not and returned to Jamaica. Is that what happened? Well, I appreciate everybody for coming out. Thank you for listening. Again, it's my opinion that this go back to Africa or leaving America will benefit us in the end as Indigenous Black Americans. But again, as you can see, we are being targeted for this move out of America, including our U.S. representatives, including the organization that's supposed to represent us here in America. They have moved on to immigrants. They have moved on and told us what they want us to do, which is invest and go and visit Africa. That's all they're telling us to do, using everybody, celebrities and everybody else to tell us to do that. That's the only messaging we're getting, and that's the only conversation that we're hearing. We're not hearing nobody upset about what's happening to us in America, how we're being bypassed, kept at the bottom, being used and abused, the fact that we're losing our identity. We don't have and recognize ethnicity separate from other peoples that have one. And it's deplorable that Black Americans themselves don't see the writing on the wall, that they're bastardizing our Black American term to be shared with everybody else that has their own damn identity. And eventually that's going to harm us. That is why you have to self-identify, in my opinion. That is why I think we should be flooding calls and emails and doing different things to alert these people that we're not happy with what the direction that we're going into. But suddenly we're not really concerned about our own survival. We're concerned about movements and what other people are leading us to. We're worshiping personalities and Pan-African spaces. We're not using our own God-given brain to see past all the rhetoric of that talk. They are globalists. They don't have no love for Black Americans. Pan-Africanism and Pan-Africans are anti-Black American. That's why they don't want us to have our own identity. That's why they're fighting for us not to delineate, for us to know who we are separate from everybody else, because it goes against them drowning us out of existence. This is why I talk about the things that I talk about in hopes to raise awareness and get somebody upset about what is happening against us. And hopefully this will register in the minds of people that are in denial or clueless. Please like and share the video. Thank you all for appearing. Let me read what else you have said, and then I'm going to go. Rita had a stroke, Miss Pat says. Is that right? DJ says, no, we thank you for these informative videos. I appreciate you, DJ, for understanding where I'm coming from, because I'm telling you, for the longest time, I've been called a hater. I don't hate Africans. Let me just be frank. I don't hate Africans. I hate what propaganda is doing against Black Americans. Not all Africans are in on what is going on with these globalists. They do not know. They are not aware. But the ones that are aware, the ones that are in governmental positions, the ones that are globalists, the ones that are Pan-Africans, they are aware. Those are the ones that I hate. Those are the ones that I despise, that are against our identity and us being who we are here in America. They have a goal to uproot us from America and make us have to feel like we can't stay in America. They're against our existence as is. And that's a problem to me. Who are they who are everywhere else but Africa? Some of them are, but not too many. Trying to tell us what we ought to do as Americans. They have no right to do what they're doing. And until we point out what they're doing and expose the agenda, is going to keep affecting many more of us to follow the lead of these people leading you to nowhere, leading you to financial ruin, leading you to homelessness, or leading you to being unalived. There are cases out there that showcasing that, or go to jail. I did a story about you can go to jail, you can be set up. Different things are happening to us one by one by one. Terrible, horrible stories are happening. And people hear the story and then they forget about it as if it's no big thing. I don't know how many numbers of stories you have to hear before you understand that they're not for us. They're against us. But I'm going to still keep telling the story as I hear them. How you doing, Tyron? Thank you for coming through. You said one African president could like you and the next one don't give a F. Exactly. They can change administrations. You know, this is the 30-year anniversary of the, what do you call it? There in Rwanda, the genocide that happened in Rwanda because of ethnicities. And we need to understand it's tribalistic in Africa. Eventually, Islamophobic attacks can happen against us. The hate of seeing us build something and the locals can't build something is eventually going to come back and harm us. I keep trying to tell people that most of the people on the ground in Africa don't give a damn about you as being who you claim you think you are, African. They don't see you that way. They don't see you that way. You're tricking yourself into believing that. Let me look up this. 30 years later, Rwanda. They're talking about that a lot of places on YouTube and the news because it's the 30-year anniversary of that. I just want you to remember that these things have happened in Ethiopia where different groups of people were targeted. They have been known to doing this type of thing in Africa. We don't recognize ourselves as a group, but they know that we are separate from them.
It's been 30 years since the Rwandan genocide, the systematic campaign by the majority Hutus to wipe out the minority Tutsis. Here's a reminder of what happened and why it's still affecting the region today. It was the death of Rwandan President Juvenal Habyarimana on April 6, 1994 that set a genocidal machine in motion. Habyarimana's plane was shot down, and to this day, no one knows by whom. But the Hutu government blamed a Tutsi militia group known as the Rwandan Patriotic Front, or the RPF. It was led by the current president, Paul Kagame. Within hours, Hutu extremists in the government launched a campaign to eradicate the Tutsis. It was methodical and well organized. Evidence shows that those responsible have been planning the genocide for years. Over the next 100 days, the military, militias, and more than 1 million Hutu civilians worked together to kill up to 800,000 people, mostly Tutsis, but even moderate Hutus as well. Neighbor killed neighbor. Hutu husbands even killed their Tutsi wives. The UN estimates that 250,000 women and girls were raped or sexually mutilated. But even if the RPF did shoot down the president's plane, why would the Hutus want to unleash genocide? Well, the plane crash, it seems, was just the excuse. There were long-standing economic issues between the two communities since colonialism that meant that the Tutsis prospered and the Hutus, despite making up 85% of the population, did not. The Tutsi RPF had been fighting to overthrow the Hutu-led government before a peace deal in 1993, but Hutu extremists, including within Habyarimana's own government, considered that deal treason. The slaughter ended almost 100 days after it began, when the RPF, backed by Uganda, took control of the country. Millions of Hutus fled. So what about justice? The United Nations established the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda and eventually convicted 61 people for playing a role in the genocide. Rwanda also set up local courts as part of the justice and reconciliation process. It put 1.2 million people on trial. As for post-genocide politics, Paul Kagame has officially been president since the year 2000. While Rwanda has been mostly prosperous and stable under his watch, he is accused of running an authoritarian state, using the RPF to control and govern almost every aspect of life. He's also accused of political intimidation and having opponents murdered, allegations he has denied. The epicenter of violence has also shifted from Rwanda to the neighboring Democratic Republic of the Congo, where 3 decades of conflict and chaos have led to the deaths of an estimated 6 million people and displaced 6 million more. Kagame and Rwanda are blamed for at least part of that. 2 million Hutus fled into the DRC during the violence. Hutu militias then launched attacks on Rwanda and killed Tutsis inside the DRC. In response, Rwanda started to arm Tutsi militias. One of those militia groups is the M23. It is now battling for control of the DRC's east and has been accused of war crimes. The UN investigation found that M23 is controlled and armed by the Rwandan Defense Ministry, although Rwanda denies this. 30 years on from the genocide, there are still unanswered questions. Where are those who have escaped justice? Who really shut down the plane? And the biggest, how could this happen?
It happened 1994. 800,000 people were slaughtered. Again, different cases of concern for me in not understanding the tribalism effect going on in Africa and still continues in Africa. But we're being sold and told a dream on YouTube that those are our people, wherever they are. We all are the same. We're all one. To whose benefit? Whose benefit? It's not our benefit at all. To believe that we're nobody and nothing unless we connect to Africa. We're somebody before that talk ever happened. What were you doing 20 years ago? You weren't talking like that. You were fine 20 years ago. Suddenly you're not fine no more. Suddenly you got to change your identity. You have to change your culture. You have to rid yourself of being an American. Suddenly this conversation's happening in the last 10 years or so. It's been set in motion by the powers that be behind the curtain. And they sent out all their agents and military people and all these other people that are spewing this rhetoric to us And it's causing us to hastily do things that we're not thinking through with research and what Africa is really about and why so many Africans are leaving by the thousands, by the millions. We're going to end up being those refugees if we continue to trust in Pan-Africanism. Mark my words. You can believe it or not. You can believe the lie. You can say, join your monies together and build a community, as if that community can't be bulldozed, as if that community can't be put on fire, as if Islamophobic attacks can't happen, as if the locals can't be upset about you, as if you can't be wrapped up in court proceedings. Keep thinking that. Keep believing in that lie. It's up to you to wake yourselves up and stop being used like hoes and see the writing on the wall as it is. We have a fight here in America. We have abandoned our own civil rights, and other people have picked up our civil rights and running away with it. We've been boxed out of our own civil rights. And other people are speaking on our behalves. People are representing us that don't even represent us. People speaking up for us that they're not even a part of our history. A lot of that is our fault for allowing it and not getting upset when it first happened. But now that I see what's been going on and how it's happening, I'm reporting as I see it. So hopefully people will respect my videos. I'm not hating on anyone. I'm just pointing out how we are being pulled into propaganda and how we're ultimately being targeted. That's what the meaning of my platform is about. Thank you for watching. Let me see what you're saying before I go. Yes. Hey, how you doing, Pinky? Thank you for coming through. You said, thanks for the good video. Thank you, Four Rivers. I appreciate it. You said Jamaica's land is more rich and abundant than many of the West African lands. Glad Marley's wife went home. I heard that. What worries me, Easy Access, is how Black America will look in 25, 50 years from now. What type of community will be left for our children? The way it's going, we won't be having nothing left. The way it's going, we'll be refugeed and treated like anything, like slaves, if we do not get a hold of our identity and claim our ethnicity and claim our rights here as American. We got to do it. Yes, when a new African president gets elected, Forest River says, all things can get bad. Rwanda was awful. And a good example, some repats have the nerve to promote moving there. Exactly. A dictator is that president right now. And the reason why it's known as the cleanest country in Africa is because they probably live in fear of that president that was known to be a part of that genocide. No wonder. No wonder. Easy Access, there is still an undercurrent of animosity between those ethnic groups in Rwanda. That shit could kick off again, especially in the surrounding countries. Anything could set it off. They're holding back their emotions right now, but you never know. It could come back up again. You said, I never hear anything good about that President Paul Kagame. Yeah, he's a sketchy character. I think he's doing a lot in Congo. He's been accused of doing a lot in Congo. Yes, he's being used as a tool. American powers that be want us out of here, our own country. Again, they want us to be gone already. They don't want the past sins of theirs to be evident with us being here in America. So if they do away with us, they don't have to worry about it no more because we're gone. They want to do away with the little secrets of what their past did to our people. And we're buying it. We're leaving. Rwanda, Congo, Uganda are firecrackers for ethnic conflict in that region. Yeah, Golden Brown, how you doing? If those African nations are not giving us anonymous land, then don't go there to live. Even if they do, Golden Brown, what about the locals? What if they see you living better than they live? Don't you know that there will be jealousy and hatred that the locals feel? They'll say in their mind and hearts, why didn't the government do that for us? There's always going to be that fear, I feel, lingers about with us developing over there. It could be torn down by fire or anything. You see other countries have it happen to them. Why don't we know that that can happen to us? That's the part that puzzles me. You said the Europeans were behind the Hutu-Tutsi war as well, of the dividing of Yugoslavia. Is that right? Indonesia. Okay. The land will get you deleted. That's what I believe. If we don't get Trump in office, how will it look in 4 years? Terrible, Pinky. It's going to be a terrible predicament if we keep a Democrat in office. The locals will get upset with a new community coming in and doing better. Exactly. That is how they are. See, Nigeria, all these tribes can't get along to rule the country. Exactly. But we're being told on social media that it's cool to go over there because everybody looks at you the same. That's a fucking lie. If we stop chasing cities and buy land in the countryside, we could get somewhere. I don't know about that. Black America must not mingle with the new people coming in. I think we should care about our conditions before mingling with other people. Honestly, I mean, I'm buying land in America in the countryside. You said Africa and everywhere else is nice to visit, but Black folks needs to buy land in countries, grow food, have industry, and build together. Sounds nice, but too many scammers, too many corrupt governments, and too many liars. Pinky, can't you build your own army if you have anonymous land? Where is this army coming from? With the type of men that we have representing us, they're not going to fight nowhere. They want us out because we have a history of fighting back, Pinky Wells says. And we hold the key to reminding them of their terrible past. We want to do away with them being reminded by leaving so that they're not held accountable for what they did to our ancestors. I don't think that's good to do. An army in another country is a declaration of war. We're not going to ever have an army. Look at these military guys, such as go back to Africa, such as, what's his name? Another military guy, I can't remember now. They're not going to fight no fight. They're not going to build no military. It's all a dream. It's a lie. Let me see. Pinky, what does autonomous mean? Sounds good. It just sounds good. There will be mingling, and in a year, there will be lots of children named Mingle. That is how I got here. That is how you got here. Okay, Miss Pat. I appreciate everybody for listening. I think that I've said enough. I did a longer live today because I was missing yesterday. I had a terrible headache. I hope that you guys would like and share the video and subscribe to this channel. I might be back tomorrow. I don't know. But when I do come back, I want to talk about incels in this new movement. I think it's called 4B movement, where men and women are declaring they're not dating one another. They're not making kids. They're not having sex, pretty much going their own way. This is another movement that's going on social media, another way in which we don't stay unified as a family. And it's disrupting the possibility of us being a solid, cohesive group. Another new movement that I'll be talking about. So please like and share the video and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss that. You said, yes, the Europeans gave them the weapons in Rwanda. I'm not surprised. Most of those African countries, you won't get land and you can't own a gun. The citizens can't have guns. Watch one of 4 black videos of the woman that died in jail. She and her husband got. That's right, Pinky. And caught with guns. Oh yeah, they had bullets. They had bullets in their possessions that was shipped from America. Someone planted bullets in their stuff in Tanzania, and somehow the government got involved. Police were called, unnamed, unannounced police or whatever, military people came to this Airbnb and swooped up all the people, including the owner or the renter of the Airbnb that was an American at the time, put them all in jail. The wife of the Hebrew Israelite that got set up, she passed away from either malaria or COVID. And they spent over 3 weeks in jail going through just unimaginable things that they shouldn't have to go through, but they were set up supposedly by a lawyer that was introduced to the American that was renting out the Airbnb. So that was a crazy story. It's a long-winded story, but I do have that video, maybe 3-4 videos back. Let me see how long ago. And it was a crazy story though. And she was hyperly emotional telling it. It's 7 days ago. It's called Educated Black American Sister Gets Her Wake-Up Call in Africa by going to jail. And this story is a lot. So 7 days ago, March 31st, you guys can check that out. The children will suffer because the father will be in and out of their life. Yeah. So thank you all for listening. Again, if you have not yet, please like and share the video. I'll be back in a couple of days. I might be back tomorrow. I might not. But when I do come back, I want to talk about some of the new movements that's happening called 4B movement, trying to encourage not dating and staying abstinent. This new craze that's happening on both sides. Thank you all for appearing. Please like and share the video and bless up.